Hey everyone, it's Biggie. Me and JD unfortunately cannot meet together tonight, so this is how we're gonna do this. And I'm mainly doing this because I want to talk about Notre Dame football and the whole controversy behind them right now because I have a ton of points I want to bring up. A lot going on, obviously. Um, and this was an episode I really wanted to do. Unfortunately, though, we cannot meet at the same time. He's doing a show by himself tonight. I'm recording this now, and it'll be uploaded and posted on the channel. So. Yeah, there's a lot to be talked about here. And before we start, everyone's going to be like, oh, you hate Notre Dame. Oh, your opinion doesn't matter. You're biased and you hate them. No, I'm speaking facts here. Okay. And I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt in certain aspects. There's a lot of things that I disagree with, and especially them opting out of a bowl game. And that's not just Notre Dame, that's every other team that did as well. It's soft. I wish more teams are like Vanderbilt, but that's a different story. And then them going at the whole thing with the ACC. I don't like that either because we literally gave you guys, I'm speaking as an ACC fan, we gave you guys a platform to play in 2020. You would have been playing the service academies in UConn and UMass. Um, but yeah, no, we literally gave you the opportunity to play. And you don't even, repay us in any form, and you go bad methods like that. I'm sorry. Yeah, but those are two of the ones I want to get out of the way quick. But yeah, I just think that's all ridiculous stuff. Not just Notre Dame, every team that opted out because they didn't make the playoffs. I think that's it's killing college football, and I love college football, and I hate to see that happen. But enough with that. Let's get into our main points that I want to touch on. Um, I have 5 points here, or six. Yeah, 6 points that I really want to touch on, and the first one being that Notre Dame. You guys, this one's against Notre Dame. There's going to be a few pro Notre Dame ones. I'm not going all full out blasting Notre Dame, but there are going to be a lot of things that go against you guys in the realistic aspect. Um, you guys love being independent. You guys love your own TV deal, not having to play a conference schedule. That's your tradition. I understand. Tradition is tradition. But don't whine and complain when that tradition knocks you out of the playoffs because the way the playoff format is five conference champions have to make it, regardless of anything. So you know what? What did JMU do? You want to make the argument that you're way better than JMU? And yeah, that's a point on here as well. I'll even get to it right away. So, do I think Notre Dame right now, if you put them on the field against JMU, Tulane, Bama, even Ole Miss, and possibly Oklahoma, are they beating any of those teams? Absolutely. Right now, they're 100% better. Um, yeah, but again, you're not in a conference. You play one of the weaker schedules in college football. You really play the bottom feeders of every conference, and your two most important games you lost. That being Miami and Texas A&M at the beginning of the year. Yeah, USC's a good win. Pitt, they were ranked, but they didn't end up being too great at the end of the year. You guys basically kind of derailed their season at that point. But like beating up on Syracuse is nothing, bro. You beat up on a walk on lacrosse player, big deal. You barely beat a one win at the time Boston College team, and I know everyone's like, "Oh, you're a Syracuse fan. They weren't even close." Okay, and the grass is green. Okay, great. That is very irrelevant right now to people who have told me that. That is very irrelevant right now. That does not matter in the slightest. Yeah, good. No explicitive there. But yeah, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They 100% would beat any of those teams. However, you guys are not in a conference, so your tradition and you love your independence, it bit you. It bit you in the behind. Um, and you know what? And I get the tradition, I get all that. But in this new playoff format, if you don't win your conference, it's gonna hurt you. And when you don't win those two important games, you have a weaker schedule. It hurts you. Oh, but the committee said head to head won't matter. Well, clearly it does because they put in Miami, who beat you guys. I don't care if you beat them right now; they still beat you, and their strength of schedule is just as mid, to be honest with you. Miami does play a weaker schedule, and that's just the nature of the ACC. I'll admit, as an ACC fan, the conference sucks. I mean, we just had a five-loss team win the conference, and they didn't even get in, but somehow Miami got in. But again, that's a head-to-head aspect. So yeah, they had to put that into play. And you also had the issue where Duke beat Virginia, and they're not going to put Duke in, and you need two more conference champions. So you put Tulane in, and then who's next? JMU, because Notre Dame, again, you're not in a conference. So you want to whine and complain, but talk about how great it is that, oh, we make all this money. We have our own TV deal. We don't need to play a conference schedule. Well, it just bit you. It did. It cost you guys. And you know what? It also shows me, and I don't like this. This is another reason why I hate Notre Dame. It's the fact that you guys care way more about the money aspect. That's basically what this is. You care more about the money aspect than winning a national championship. Because if you cared, especially in this new format, if you cared about winning a national championship, besides last year, I got to give them credit. Last year they were really freaking good. Riley Leonard was awesome last year. That whole team last year was great. Obviously you run into Ohio State, who was a juggernaut, but every other year they haven't won a thing since 1988. They have not won a national championship since 1988. Put that in your head. These guys act like they're Bama. They act like they're Georgia. They act like they're a top SEC team. They haven't won since 1988. So you want to talk about all this stuff? You guys haven't won since 1988. To put that into perspective, at least. But yeah, that would have been my next point. Join I understand tradition, but not being in a conference is going to kill you in this new playoff format. Because again, 5 conference champions have to make it. Doesn't matter. That's the rule. And you know what? Miami beat you head to head. That's why they got in. And then we'll talk about Bama too, because Bama had a lot more of a tougher stretch. They had way better wins than you guys did. And again, they're in a conference. It doesn't matter if Georgia beat the brakes off them in the SEC championship. Did you see some of the gauntlets they had to play this year? Yeah, they beat Georgia in Georgia at Athens. They beat Tennessee, play Missouri, who obviously wasn't a top ranked team, but that's a very tough. They played with everyone great this year, and then they beat Vandy by a lot when Vandy was like Vandy good, and Vandy beat them last year. And I think last year's Alabama team was better than this year's Alabama team, and Vandy beat that team last year. So you want to talk about harder schedule and actually playing a conference schedule? I would put Alabama in that category. It's just the nature of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who's better right now. The committee is looking at and I admit they didn't say this at first, so it would make you think, well, Notre Dame should get in because they're one of the better teams right now. Absolutely, but obviously that didn't matter, and I agree with that. It shouldn't matter at all who's better right now. The resume is ultimately what gets you the job, not how good you are at something right off the bat. The resume is what gets you right when you go in for a job interview. What's the one thing that you always need in a job interview? A resume, and your resume tells all before the interview, before any of that. And Bama, and even Miami, because they beat Notre Dame head to head. Now, granted, Miami's 2 losses were way worse than Notre Dame's losses, but still, Notre Dame, you lost to Miami, and you lost your 2 quality games, and then you beat up on everyone else. But again, I will give you credit for the USC win. The USC win is definitely a quality win, 100%. Pitt is one of your better wins again. They didn't end up being too great. But they were still ranked at the time. That's still a ranked win, 100%. Can't take away that they were ranked. But Bama just had a way tougher schedule, and they're in a conference. So that's what got them in. And then Miami beat you head to head. So the committee was left with the decision, well, we can't, the Duke can't make the playoffs. We can't have an ACC champion. So now we have to go with JMU and Tulane. And that ultimately knocks Notre Dame out because they're not in a conference. And you put the head to head aspect in it, and Miami beat them. And the strength of schedule as well. Not saying JMU's schedule was anything crazy. I mean, they're going to lose by a lot. But that's just the way it is. That's the format. And not being in a conference kills you guys. Yeah, and that was my next point. Head to head really does matter. And, Miami, even though they lost those 2 games to Louisville and SMU, they had a very similar strength of schedule. They have very similar statistically strength of schedule, beat common opponents by the same amount. Well, except Syracuse, obviously. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking about that. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, but in the terms of everything else, they were pretty neck and neck with you. So you had to go in the criteria of head to head, and they beat you. So that's where that falls into play. And this might be the committee sending a message that, hey, maybe you guys should drop that tradition and possibly join a conference. Now I get it. It's your tradition. I understand. But obviously, this is going to hurt you guys in this new playoff format, unless they change something, which I think I could see coming. Keeping the 1 group of 5 team, but limiting the 5 conference champions, because obviously we see how bad the ACC is. And I know that as an ACC fan, the conference sucks. Let's all be honest. The ACC is god awful majority of the time. It has a couple good teams, and everyone else is just complete garbage. And that's the truth. That's the hard, honest truth about the ACC. It really is. And you know what? If Notre Dame was in the ACC, they would win it every single year. I'll tell you what, they would win that conference every single year. And you know what? It would benefit them. But I understand the tradition. I understand both sides of it. If I was Notre Dame with their tradition, I wouldn't want to join conference either. But you guys have to understand that it's going to hurt you guys in this new playoff format. That's what I'm trying to say. I understand the tradition, that's that, but it's going to hurt you guys in this playoff format because of that rule with the five conference champions. And, maybe if you upped your strength, they should play a better schedule. Their schedule is weak every year. Like even Notre Dame fans, and I know some of them say that they need to play better teams. They play the bottom feeders of each conference. And then when they play the good teams, they lose. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm trying to say here. And the things that are really, really making me upset is that they're declining to play the bowl game. I just think that's ridiculous. And again, everyone's like, well, no one's talking about the other teams like Texas. No, they're software too. It's not just Notre Dame. It's just Notre Dame is the most public because they're the most controversial topic. Everyone who opted out of a bowl game, in that because they didn't make the playoffs, it's a soft move. I just think personally, but Notre Dame has all the spotlight because they're one of the more controversial teams in college football. People they're more hated than any of the other teams. I'm in that train of hating, but I'm giving you guys the benefit of the doubt here. So I'm sure there'll be a bunch of people that watch the show that know me that know I hate Notre Dame. I'm going to be saying, well, you don't like Notre Dame. Oh, you're a Syracuse fan. They suck. Well, yeah, obviously, but I give you guys the benefit of the doubt, but these are facts. Like this is just what I'm speaking here. I'm speaking facts here, and I'm trying to give Notre Dame the benefit of the doubt, but it's really hard to, when there's so much going against them, and there's a lot of things that they need to process. Like you're not in a conference. Like I'm gonna go through my points again. You love your independency, but it came and bit you, like I said, bit you in the ass, really, because you lost those two quality games you had. Your schedule's weak, and you're not in a conference, so they have to go with the five conference champions. And then again, I think Notre Dame is speaking to Notre Dame fans. You guys would definitely beat JMU and Tulane. You would beat Bama right now. I think you probably would beat Ole Miss, possibly Oklahoma, and maybe A&M again. I think A&M gets you. And then Miami, that's also a stretch. I think Miami would beat them right now. I'm just saying. Sorry. It would be a very close game again. But yeah, possibly beat A&M or Miami, but definitely better than JMU, Tulane, and Bama. I just think Bama's resume was better coming in. They obviously play a tough SEC schedule. They won some pretty quality games. That's what got them in over Notre Dame, and then Miami with the head-to-head aspect, and that leaves you still need two more conference champions. And Notre Dame's not in the conference, so there you go. But yeah, so again, just you love your independency, bite you, and I really don't like the way it's being handled, with them opting out of the bowl game. And yes, I know a lot of teams did, but I think it's just all the attention's on Notre Dame because of the controversy already surrounding them. And then the whole thing with the ACC is really, really making me mad too. Like they literally gave you a home during COVID. You would have been playing the service academies, and you would have been playing all the independents like UMass and UConn and New Mexico at the time, and New Mexico State at the time. Like those teams you would have been playing, instead of an ACC full schedule. So yeah, that's what I want to bring up. Notre Dame. I feel bad for you guys, but facts are facts, and you kind of got what you deserved. To be honest with you, and I think this might be a sign of what's to come. And I think the college football committee might be making some changes when it comes to their ruling on the conference champions. We'll see. It's very possible that they do. I think they should keep the one group of five team. That's a great. I love that. But I think they need to alter the conference championship thing, or they're going to keep doing it, and maybe this would push Notre Dame to kind of let go of that old tradition, which I get you don't want to do, which is very understandable. 100% knowing the tradition of Notre Dame, 100%. 100% won't fault you guys for not wanting to give that up, but you have to realize this is going to come back and bite you. And I also think Notre Dame, speaking of, just the team in general, I think they're going to be better next year. I know you lose Jeremiah Love, but they have, obviously every year they have a top 5, top 10 recruiting class come in. CJ Carr is only going to get better with time. So, I think the future is really bright for them, and they could be in a position where they don't have to worry about this, where they do go win those games like Texas A&M, or they win at Miami. You know what I mean? Where they're not, hoping, oh, well, we have to beat Boston College by this much, or oh, if we beat Stanford by more than 20 points, we'll get in. Stuff like that. Or like things like that. Oh, well, we beat USC, great. No, but you didn't win the two that really mattered. Your two top 10 opponents. You did not win those games. But I think in the future that could be a little different. I think they could beat teams like that even next year. I know you lose Jeremiah Love, I know, but the recruiting class coming in, and that's a program. That's a great program, and CJ Carr is only going to get better and better. And always remember, it's O-line you as well. Notre Dame's O-line is always the best. We know that. So future's bright for you. I think they'll be at a point where they won't have to worry about that anymore. So hopefully for them. But yeah, obviously talk some, some hate towards them, but I also gave them some affirmation. So there you go, guys that watch me that tell me I'm biased towards Notre Dame. I'm giving them some love because they are a really good football team. And right now they beat some of the teams in the playoff. It's just the format. That's just how it is. And if you win those two quality games you have on your schedule, maybe you get it. So yeah, guys, college football playoffs are here. I'm excited. I know JD's not, unfortunately for him. I wouldn't be either if I was a Notre Dame fan, but thankfully I'm not. And I'm going to enjoy some college football this weekend, and I hope you do as well. Tune in tonight. I don't know when this is coming out. I don't know if it already happened, but if it didn't, tune in tonight. JD will be doing a solo show, and you'll hear his opinion on this. Probably going to be a lot different than mine, but yeah, it's college football playoff season, maybe. Let's get at it. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys respect me for how I feel about this.